This is the first lecture in part 2. This is part 2 here in this box. I guess I'll go ahead and label these now while I'm at it. Part 1 and part 2. And the reason why it occurs to me to do this now is it really could help you as you're going through these materials to think in terms of Tuesday and Thursday. So what I did in part 1 is probably about the length of time I would have spoken in class on one day. And the same should be for the video lectures that are down here. So the rest of the work that you do that would have been like open lab in our class will be the lecture review quiz and the voice thread that are sitting down here. So those are basically replacement activities for participation and attendance and a way to give you some good grades in the class. So for part 2, this would be about the amount of time I would spend on a second day in class. Now, of course, things are staggered out a little bit differently. I would not recommend waiting until Thursday of the week that stuff's due to do a whole part, because you still have to do the actual activities and some of the steps in your annotated bibliography. So I'm going to strongly recommend that you are using the pacing guideline that I have up here for the online version of the class so that you can see here that there's an order that you should be going in. Okay, let me hop back down here now. And if there's overlap with other things I've posted, I'm sorry about that. I'm overlapping some on purpose because I think it'll help my students. Okay, let's get down to business here. Part 2, lecture number 1 is what I'm making right now. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to look at the assignment document for paper number 3. I have it linked right here inside the schedule. I'm going to open it up now and talk about your proposal and annotated bibliography. I'm going to actually probably call it the annotated bibliography and proposal because you're doing it in that order. So I'm going to switch that really quickly live. It's the same exact kind of little things I catch when we were in a live classroom together. But when you click on it, it'll be fixed since I'm doing it here in the video before you even look at it. Okay, you should click and look along with me while I am talking through this document. You can see at the top, I have a blue box that has all the due dates here listed at the top. You have steps due for the remaining weeks of class. This paper is in several different stages, due on the 2nd, 9th, and 16th of April. I'll then take a look at the drafts, return feedback so that students can have a revision done by the 23rd. That means that you should be getting feedback from me. The 20th is my goal date. That's the Monday of this same week. And it says that right here in the box. The grading rubric is at the end. To keep this video short, I'm not going to read everything in this document. It would be way too long. I am going to tell you that you are writing a proposal to change something, and you're going to do some light research on it. I'm going to call it light research because I will tell you here right now in this video that the original version of this assignment has 5 sources. Your version for this semester is 3 in order to condense this paper and make it more manageable for students in the online format. That also gives me the opportunity to have things graded in time so that students can make a revision and an informed decision about the pass-fail grade. Okay, enough on the administrative stuff. Let's get down to business with this. I explain here in the rationale section what a proposal is. I have some sample topics down here at the bottom. And then here in the box, just an overview, you will be doing a proposal and an annotated bibliography. I have a bunch of sample topics on this page. I'm not going to read all these again at you in the video because these are things that you can read on your own. And I'm going to share sample papers with you. Sorry, I have I was eating popcorn before I made my video, and I got a piece of, the little husk on the popcorn kernel. Yeah, that's not fun. Stuck in my throat. Sorry about that. Okay. Teaching online can be so weird. I'm sure you all feel that way. Okay, sample topics are listed here. Now, one of the things that occurs to me, and you can pause and read these, that might be really beneficial just to do it now during the video. But I'm going to tell you one of the things that occurred to me when I was making up these assignments was that the sample topics this semester could be completely different than the ones you see here. Because you could branch out into a non-ODU topic. You could do something that has to do with distance education, for example, to get it a little bit more related to what we are going through in our society right now. So I wanted to just say that your topics might look a lot different, or maybe you don't want to think about what's going on and do a regular old semester type topic. You can look at these ideas here. There's an overview of what the annotated bibliography is and what the proposal is. In a nutshell, oops, I left this one out. Missed a correction. You do a total of 3 annotations, and you do a proposal, which is a very short paper that's going to propose a change. The paper is really short because the research part takes a while, and we're going to focus mostly on getting it correct, using correct APA citation, learning how to use the databases, learning how to get research into a paper. It might be a review for some of you, and some of you may have done annotated bibs before, but I know that mine is a little different from other people's, especially because I've really condensed this and tried to make it as understandable as possible. Okay, it's still very abstract until we look at an example. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, on your own, I want you to read through this assignment sheet. I'll just point out a couple more things in here. I broke it into steps. Here's week 12. On the next page is week 13. You keep scrolling down, you'll find week 14. And then at the end, week 15. Now this looks crazy long, but here's something I will tell you and assure you. All this right here results in about a paragraph. So there's all these little tiny steps, and it looks like a lot. It's not very long. So here you fill out your topic, then you fill out a possible title, and you can always change it later. And then you start doing the steps to work on your annotations. Follow these steps exactly. When you're working on your paper, you get to this final bullet under step 3, and it says open the template and use the template while working on annotations. Let me head back over to the schedule really quickly. The template is here as well, the assignment template. You can open it from either place. I'm going to go ahead and open the assignment template and talk about that a little bit more. So it's in this view again where it's just the viewing window. I want to open this up as a Google Doc. You're going to want to save this, and you're going to definitely work from your own copy of this, because you're going to actually type inside the document, and you're going to get rid of things that I have going down the side. Like you're going to resolve the comments. You're going to get rid of this stuff down the side as you go. You're going to give it your own title. You're the author. It's going to be our course. It's going to be my name. It's going to be your due date. And then down here, you're going to type right inside of this document. So the title will go here. Then you can delete the instructions, and then you're going to do your first annotation. I have a fake one sitting here so that inside this very template, you can see how the paper works, and you can just open it up and you can type right inside of this. One of the reasons I make a template for this paper is because the formatting is extremely hard for a lot of people to get right for APA. So I make a template that my students can use. You can reuse this template in your majors. If you have APA for papers in your major, use the same template. I will warn you, though, that if your professor asks you to use the old APA, this is not for APA 6, this is for APA 7. The other thing I'll tell you is that individual classes will still have their own instructions. So you can use this for formatting, but you need to make sure that your professor's assignment is similar with the formatting and that kind of thing. Okay. You basically type right over top of this. So heading back over to the schedule, I'm now going to click on sample paper 1 as the last thing in here, because it's going to all make a lot more sense when we see what an actual sample paper looks like. I'm going to open this as a Google Doc. This student did this in APA 6. I do not have the ability to make all the corrections right now, but I'll make a few that I can see as I go. There is no running head in student papers anymore in APA, so it's actually going to look like this. And then this is actually her final draft of her paper. And so she wrote this. I'm going to get rid of this too, because this is not required anymore in the new APA. It won't let me get rid of it. Let me tell you how hard it is on all of us when APA changes and that kind of thing. Okay, well, it won't matter because these things aren't in my template. So when you see it in the sample paper, just ignore the fact that there's something written right here. It's not in the template and you won't have it. So if you were to go over to our template, you'll see it's not there. So your template is correct. My sample papers, though, are going to be in the old APA because that's what we were using last year. Okay. The student left me the comments in her draft. That's one of your instructions at a much later step. She's got her topic at the top. It's going to be a lot longer, and this right here should actually be her proposal. In your version, the proposal goes at the end. Again, I don't want you to worry about that, that it's here at the beginning of it. You're going to be just fine having it at the end with yours. They did it at the beginning, but it's actually better to be at the end. Okay, there's a couple small mistakes in here, like she should have capitalized United States, right? But other than that, this is very close to what you're going to be doing. Again, it's not going to be exact. And the reason it's not going to be exact is she has 5 sources. So here comes annotation number 1. Your paper will actually begin with annotation number 1. You won't do the proposal until the end. They wrote it at the end, but then they put it in the beginning of the document. But I actually thought that was confusing. So this year, for your class, you're going to be writing your annotations and starting them at the beginning of the document. So this would be actually your first thing that's going to happen in your paper. And then you see here that she's got her annotation, her summary, her evaluation, her comparison. And you can keep scrolling. Again, I'm not going to go all the way through it because I think it makes the videos way too long. I'm going to go ahead and stop our part 2 lecture 1 over here. Your final lecture will be on the APA and how it works. And these are going to be the sources that are part of that video.